I'm Casey Claiborne, and thanks for watching this CrimeWatch YouTube exclusive, where we're taking a look at some of the recent crime stories around Austin and Texas. A federal appeals court recently struck down a ban on bump stocks, a device that enables a semi-automatic gun to fire more rapidly. The ban was enacted after the 2017 massacre in Las Vegas, where a gunman killed 58 people at a music festival. Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis reports on the decision.
The Fifth Circuit of Appeals in New Orleans decided the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives did not have the authority to define bump stocks as machine guns, which are heavily restricted. A bump stock attaches to a semi-automatic rifle to allow a shooter to fire continuously by using the recoil of the firearm to hit the trigger in rapid succession. Judge Jennifer Walker Elrod wrote in the opinion, "A plain reading of the statutory language paired with close consideration of the mechanics of a semi-automatic firearm reveals that a bump stock is excluded from the technical definition of machine gun set forth by the Gun Control Act and National Firearms Act." Bump stocks were used in the 2017 Las Vegas shooting that killed 58 people and injured hundreds, and it spurred political pressure to ban the devices nationwide. And at the end of 2018, the Justice Department gave bump stock owners 90 days to destroy or turn in the devices.
What happened in Las Vegas was terrible, but to do a knee-jerk reaction and just to go in everyone's home in the United States and grab a particular product just because a person might have used that product is not the American way.
Central Texas Gunworks owner Michael Cargill surrendered his bump stocks but wanted to fight against it, so he filed a lawsuit against the Department of Justice and ATF. He says the case is not about gun control, but who has the constitutional right to change the law, stating the Justice Department doesn't have the right to issue the ban.
The federal government cannot rewrite law. We're talking about triggers, we're talking about AR pistols, we're talking about everything that the ATF wants to ban. We're saying you need to stop because you can't change your mind one day and create a law. You can't do that. You can't ban something. Congress has to write a law, and that's how it becomes.
State prosecutors faced a major setback in their felony cases against former Williamson County Sheriff Robert Chody and County Attorney Jason Nasser. They're accused of tampering with evidence involving the in-custody death of Javier Ambler in 2019. Fox 7 Officer's Rudy Koski has the latest.
Former Williamson County Sheriff Robert Chody and his attorney left court Monday morning with the expectation that there will be a felony trial. They also left with this document, a motion that provided a big pretrial win for them and a loss for prosecutors.
It's very big. I mean, they can't proceed on the theory that they're saying they want to proceed on in light of that ruling unless they can figure out some way around it.
Is this a put up or shut up moment?
Yeah.
This body cam video clip of the in-custody death of Javier Ambler is the only video made public since the incident in March of 2019. Several more police recordings were made that night, but prosecutors don't have video from a live PD production crew. They were riding with Williamson County deputies when Ambler was chased for a minor traffic violation. The live PD video was later erased, which was allowed under the contract that the company had with Williamson County. The loss of the video is the basis for the indictment against Chody and Williamson County Attorney Jason Nasser. Prosecutors claim they should have seized the video, and failing to do so was a criminal act, despite a federal law that prevents taking private property without a court order. Chody, Monday morning, denied any wrongdoing.
Sheriff, did you tell anyone to destroy that videotape?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Did you send an email saying that?
Absolutely. No, I did not.
Prosecutors Monday argued that the federal law does not apply to their case, and the live PD crew technically abandoned the video at the scene when they briefly left their equipment in a county patrol car. Judge Karen Sage will allow prosecutors to prove that claim during the trial, but in jury selection and even in opening arguments, prosecutors will not be allowed to bring it up. They can't even imply that Chody or Nasser had any legal authority or an obligation to seize the equipment at the time without a court order.
It's the district attorney's office obligation to try to get it, and they botched it. First-year law student would have known how to send a subpoena. They didn't.
A final pretrial hearing is set to take place in February. The trial itself possibly sometime this spring, but there is also the chance that it could be moved out of Travis County. I'm Rudy Koski, Fox 7 Austin News.
Austin police are investigating the city's second homicide of 2023 after a woman was found dead inside a car in South Austin. Shortly after 8:30 on the night of January 6th, police were called to East Stasny Lane between South Congress and 35. 911 callers reported hearing gunshots and a car crash. Officers found a wrecked car inside a woman in her mid-20s with gunshot wounds. She was pronounced dead at the scene minutes later. Police have not identified the victim and so far have not named a suspect. If you have any information on what happened, you're urged to call Austin Police. Police are looking for an armed robbery suspect who targeted the same convenience store in North Austin twice in 4 days. This man walked into the Austin Food Mart on Thurman Street back on January 4th. Once inside, he robbed a store employee at gunpoint and left the area with an undisclosed amount of money. Police believe the suspect did the same thing at the same spot just days later on January 8th. The man pictured has several tattoos on his hands and wrist, and he can be seen wearing a Houston Oilers ball cap with an AK-47 pendant hanging from his neck. If you recognize him, call police at the number on your screen. A capital murder case out of Austin has been sent back to the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals for a second look following a Supreme Court decision. Aurelia Escobar was convicted of raping and stabbing to death 17-year-old LBJ student Bianca Maldonado in 2009. But his attorneys, some nonprofits, and now the Travis County District Attorney's Office say there are issues with DNA evidence used to secure his conviction. Fox 7 Austin's Shannon Ryan has the details.
I am ecstatic. I really do think that this is about the best result we could have hoped for from this court, the Supreme Court as it's currently constituted.
Monday, the U.S. Supreme Court ordered the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals to take another look at Daniel Woofter's client, Arlie Escobar's case. The court had previously decided to uphold his conviction and death sentence.
It's very difficult in these kinds of capital cases from state habeas to get the court to pay attention at all. And the fact that they did this now really, I think, does show how abject the failure of the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals was in this case.
Escobar was convicted of stabbing his neighbor, 17-year-old mother and student Bianca Maldonado 43 times, cutting her 30 times, beating and raping her with an object in 2009.
Our hope and our responsibility is to ensure that every person who is tried, who faces criminal charges here in Travis County, has a full and transparent proceeding with accurate evidence. That didn't happen in this case.
Travis County District Attorney Jose Garza believes that's in part due to issues with APD's now shuttered crime lab, which is why he urged justices to rule in Escobar's favor.
They were placing evidence with other pieces of evidence that often leads to contamination. And they were aware of investigative information that they should not have been aware of, because sometimes that results in biases in how you interpret evidence. If you think that law enforcement is pursuing a certain suspect and you have evidence that is sort of a close call, what we found out is that often people in the lab were interpreting evidence in a way that would confirm ongoing investigations, and that is not how evidence should be handled.
A review of Escobar's case found instances where inconclusive evidence was presented to the jury as absolute, and other incidents where evidence was mishandled and possibly contaminated.
People really think of DNA evidence as being, unassailable, but the truth is it can also have problems. It's one of the more reliable types of forensic evidence, but it is far from infallible.
Shannon Ryan, Fox 7 Austin News.
The family of a young woman who detectives believe was killed by her boyfriend is speaking out. 22-year-old Raul Anthony Caballero was recently arrested for the murder of 19-year-old Sofia Vera. Her body was found near Elgin. Bastrop County Sheriff's deputies say Caballero was caught after a high-speed chase from Bryan to Navasota. He was found with a gunshot wound and is still in the hospital. Fox 7 Austin's Angela Shin has the latest.
I feel terrible that my daughter's not here, but it's comforting to at least know that he's in custody.
Sofia's father, Abraham Vera, speaking to Fox 7 in Spanish with his nephew, Xavier Hernandez Vera, translating. Investigators found Sofia's body near Elgin last Friday. On Wednesday, an arrest warrant for murder was out for her boyfriend, Raul Anthony Caballero.
They automatically knew he was involved because they would come and drop him off, near a gas station on 290, and then she would go pick him up. And the last day they saw her, she was doing just that. She went to go pick him up.
Detectives say Raul was driving Sophia's car and had her cell phone. He led authorities on a high-speed chase on Highway 6, wrecked the car, and was found with a gunshot wound. He is still hospitalized. Sophia's family says there were red flags in the relationship.
They had already given her warnings about him. So he had put his hands on her before, and to leave the relationship. But ultimately, they she let her decide on her own, and unfortunately, it resulted in this.
When her father first found out she was gone,
First thing I wanted to do is that I wanted to kill him.
El detective, que si yo lo agarraba primero, que ellos lo encontraran, yo lo mataba.
I told the detective that if I found him first, that I would be capable of killing him.
Sophia's cousin says they're a close-knit family and look out for each other. Her father shares one of his favorite memories with his princesa, the baby of the family.
Yo le decía mi princesa.
When she was young, he would call her princess, my princess. And so when she went to school and they would call her by her name, she would throw a fit and say, my name is Princess. She was a good person. She was a good girl. She didn't deserve that. She was a tough cookie.
Xavier also urging anyone in an abusive relationship to say something.
In this age where having a toxic relationship is trendy, or they think it's something that's, it's normalized, and it shouldn't be like that. If it happens, I think anybody in that situation should ask for help, reach out. There's always somebody who's willing to help you.
And finally, late last month, a Houston man was charged with aggravated kidnapping after a woman claimed she was held captive for nearly a week. The pair met on a popular dating app. Is raising concerns about online dating safety. Fox's Shelby Rose takes a look at staying safe while looking for love.
A date on the popular dating app Bumble turned into a torturous 5 days, says a Houston area woman. She alleges 21-year-old Zachary Mills held her captive without food or water starting on December 24th after turning down his advances. After her escape on the 29th, Mills was arrested and charged with aggravated kidnapping.
She did nothing wrong. She met somebody online. She went on a date with somebody she thought she could trust. Obviously, it didn't turn out that way.
Meeting someone through an app such as Bumble is more common now than ever. Over recent years, the popularity of dating apps has risen dramatically.
It is here to stay. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry. 1 in 5 people have a dating app on their phones.
Wynn says stories like this shouldn't deter you from looking for a partner online, but there are ways to stay safe while doing so.
Don't meet for the first time and have somebody pick you up. Meet at a public place. Don't give out your information so readily. Maybe decide to use an alternate phone number.
You should also share your GPS location with multiple loved ones before you go out on a date, letting them know where you're planning to meet. Wynn also encourages you to do your homework on your potential suitor.
10% of all people who online date are registered sex offenders. There are simple ways to do background checks, to check their social media pages, to make sure that the person you're going on an online date with is safe. Because at the end of the day, you want to stay safe and look for love.
Fox 26 has reached out to the attorney representing Mills and has yet to hear back. Reporting in Houston, Shelby Rose, Fox 26 News.
Thank you for watching this Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch. Our exclusive Crime Watch stories run each Monday on Fox 7 Austin News at 9. Again, to learn more about the stories featured today, look for the links below this video. You can also find more stories on our website, fox7austin.com, or subscribe to the Fox 7 Austin YouTube channel.